بأسا شديدا يلدمه ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون صدق الله العظيم رسول الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين. barka da zuwa. Ka zo lafiya? Ya hanya? So how is everybody?
Fine, thank you, sir.
How's Abuja?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Hearing reciting the Holy Quran quickly reminds one of the fact that you are very well known to be versed in Islamic knowledge, especially the Quranic knowledge.
One would have expected you to be in the literary world, so to speak, to study the social sciences. But you took up mathematics, a phobia to so many in this country. But you kind of took up the challenge. Why mathematics?
I would say that right from my primary school days, I was very good in figures. And these encouraged me, my teachers encouraged me. By the time I got to the secondary school, Royal College, in Zaire in 1949, I met another crop of teachers. One of whom, for instance, is YAHAYA Son, the Shitima of Sokoto, who was my math teacher, who encouraged me not only in pursuing, getting more interested in mathematics, but in his general attitude, or shall I say, principled way of
Shehu Musa, the Makaman Nupe, the Second Republic Secretary to the Government of the Federation, one-time Chairman National Population Commission, former member, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, one-time Director of Customs Exercise, an old retired permanent secretary and administrator of high repute and versatility. Malam Shehu Musa, a deep-rooted religious personality and a scholar, and a first-class mathematician. The Makaman Nupe, Shehu Musa, is a man of tradition and custom, a man of value and virtue, an honorable gentleman, and a man of the people. Elder statesman Shehu Musa is our focus on this edition of Footprints, a program which focuses on the life and times of statesmen, traditional rulers, great men and women of value who have contributed in their own individual ways to the growth and development of the great country Nigeria, with a view to highlighting their invaluable experiences for the benefit of today's Nigerians and posterity, and so as to enhance good governance, citizenship, value system, national cohesion and integration for better tomorrow. I am Aliyu Baba Barrow. You're welcome. Reciting the Holy Quran and study is one regular habit of Shehu Musa from childhood, a trait he took after his father, Malam Musa, whose family tradition was the study of the Quran and Islamic knowledge and jurisprudence. This is a long family tradition which Shehu Musa continued to keep alive like the blood in the joke, a tradition that can be back to his grandfather Malam Salihu and great-grandfather Malam Usman. In today's Nigeria, Shehu Musa, Makaman Nupe, is a Nupe man through and through. Way back to ancestry, he is a Paturanki, a Fulani man of the Kawa descent from the Caliphate. His grandparents migrated to Bida towards the end of the 19th century from Gwandu in present Kebbi State. Gwandu is the second capital to the seat of the Caliphate, Sokoto, whose first ruler was Abdullah bin Fodio, younger brother and disciple of the great Shehu Usman bin Fodio. Shehu Musa's grandparents came to Bida towards the end of the 19th century to propagate Islam and subsequently from religious mission they soon found home in Bida and settled here. A typical scenario of the peculiar nature of northern Nigeria. One can always find a home, a way home. In fact, Bida is an extension of the Caliphate under Gwandu. The three ruling houses of Bida are offshoot of the Fulani Empire of the Usmaniya dynasty. Bidda gari na Malam Dendo, a Hausa phrase describing Bida as the city of Malam Dendo. Malam Muhammad Dendo, the flag bearer of the 19th century Usman Danfodio Jihad to Bida. The original Nupe inhabitants of Bida gave Malam Muhammadu the name Dendo, which literally means the of the flag, the Holy Quran, the sword, and all the paraphernalia of royalty. In other words, the harbinger of glad tidings from Binifodio himself. Malam Muhammad Dendo ultimately installed the Fulani rulership in Bida. He was the father of the first three rulers of Bida, who make up the three ruling houses of the city today: Echu Usman Zaki, Echu Masaba, and Echu Marumajigi. The present Nupe Alhaji YAHAYA ABUBAKAR is a descendant of the first Fulani ruler of Bida, Echu Usman Zaki. This is the climax of the Salah period in Bida, Hawambariki, an old tradition of celebrating the Islamic Eid al-Fitr or Eid al-Kabir Salah festivals, during which all the chiefs and title holders converge the city to pay homage and celebrate with the Echu. A long procession that terminated the old colonial divisional officers' residence called Emi Gowon, Gowon's residence, named after one-time Nigeria's head of state, General Yakubu Gowon. It is here that the Echu settles down to receive greetings paid by all his subjects, including people from all parts of Nigeria residing in Bida. It is a great occasion everybody looks forward to, indigenous and non-indigenous alike. A period of showcasing peaceful coexistence among the people in Bida, part of Nupe Kingdom. YAHAYA ABUBAKAR, a general in the Nigerian army, who has traveled worldwide and made friends aboard, cherishes such an occasion with zeal.
We recognize the importance and we cherish the existence of every group of individuals, every tribe in this our domain. Thereby we encourage them to come out and join us to celebrate the occasion they are receiving. We're very accommodating, and we appreciate their existence here because they contribute immensely to social development, social-economic development of this area. So we find it very easy and very accommodating when they come to us and they feel happy that they feel part and parcel of us.
Indeed, Bida is a city of long tradition, culture and religion, where everybody feels welcome. Bida had been a cradle of civilization in this part of Nigeria in ancient times. It developed its textiles industry, with its products well known in the trans-Saharan trade of Western Sudan. The arts and crafts too well known globally. The brasswork at Chwatamakun quarters of Bida showcases the people's ingenuity and dexterity in the trade. The glasswork is one unique feature of Nigeria only found in Bida, an old tradition of the people only in Masaga quarters of the town. Their products are carried all over the world. The message of the tradition, economy, and the life of Bida in and day, but most Bida was the defense industry shine. The people were able to develop and powder and participation campaign. In fact, Bida was so strategic and strong that it had to be defeated before any progress could be made in the British conquest of northern Nigeria. The Dokoza blacksmith quarters of Bida, though a shadow of his old self, was the defense industry of the city. But it plays a role to the economy of the people in modern times, as it produces almost all the agricultural implement required by the people. Very central, as agriculture is the major occupation of the people, and the lush vegetation of the area, and the perennial river in Bida, the famous Lanzu Bangwia rivers, are major attractions to other Nigerians from far and near. Muhammad Amin, a Hausa man from Sakpato, many of his other fellow farmers engaged in irrigated agriculture along Lanzu River, now for over 30 years. Such were the major attractions of Bida that beckoned people from far and near. There are some of the city that attracted Shehu Musa's grandparents and finally settled in Bida from Gondu on Islamic propagation mission. Malam Musa Bantigi, Shehu Musa's father, subsequently followed the steps of his parents in Islamic scholarship, and so impacted such pattern of life on his son Shehu Musa, for after the little Shehu on the 16th January 1935, 7 years later, the child was enrolled in the Quranic school within the locality. Little Shehu was indeed prepared for Islamic scholarship from childhood. His father, Shehu Ahmadu, after a renowned Islamic scholar, teacher and cleric, Shehu Ahmadu Tijani. Shehu in Arabic, Sheikh, title to a great scholar and as a professor in the Western sense. Today's Shehu Musa is well learned in Islamic knowledge. Told it Malam Musa that when he subsequently enrolled Musa into elementary school, the child will grow up to be a first-class mathematician, excellent administrator, and of people and resources, and contribute to the growth and development of the entire Nigerian nation. We met Shehu Ahmadu Musa on our mission to parent this package, this home in Bida. It was the Ramadan month. The Makaman invited us to join him to breakfast with other people around the locality he always invites.
We thought we will meet you in Kaduna, you know, not here in Bida, but maybe the Ramadan calling, so to speak. You like spending the Ramadan here in the community?
Yes, certainly. I normally spend the first half of it in Kaduna and the remaining half here in Bida. This kind of setting is traditional, and I enjoy it so much. It reminds me of many years of upbringing by my parents, and also the kind of experience you get through when you go on Umrah. You can't afford to eat alone. You take everybody together and you do it. So I'm happy that you followed me to be that, yes. Not to Kaduna.
Yes. As a man of the people, one thing he enjoys in this month of Ramadan is sharing from what he provided for the breakfast with the less privileged. This is the life of Alhaji Shehu Ahmadu Musa, Makaman Nupe, a community man through and through, an elder statesman with great sense of humility and religious virtue. And settling down for interview, that field of study, mathematics and the sciences, so close to his heart, opened up our traverse in the life of the Makama down memory lane. And as he told us at the beginning, he had been so brilliant from elementary school with figures, and he pursued the figures, as it were, up to secondary school level, the famous Barrio College, Zaria.
This performance was perhaps in the literature, a bit more in science, and then So, by the time that we were taking this Cambridge School Certificate in 1960, I had dropped English literature, and then I dropped Arabic as a language. And in Arabic, I took woodwork. And so it was another subject, and I was left with 6 subjects. And mathematics, I came out in flying colors in mathematics, what they call them mathematics and mechanics, which is application of mathematics. So calculate the speed and momentum and the impact and so on and so forth. I, in the end, got a Division I certificate, which is still displayed in the Hall of Fame, the Imperial College. I wasn't, of course, the only person, but since we're talking about me for now. But I had to take English language. It was a compulsory subject at that time. And I got a distinction in English language. I got a distinction in mathematics, and so on and so forth. So as I said, I ended up in Division I of the Cambridge School Certificate. And my interest in the English language and the mathematics was so much that I went to the library to borrow books on mathematics, which I hoped at the end of the day when I went to the university I would be able to study mathematics and physics up to PhD level.
Yes, Shehu Musa did go to the University College Ibadan, then the only university in the country, but first after obtaining an advanced certificate of education at the Zaria College of Technology in mathematics, applied maths and physics. For this feat, he spent 2 instead of 3 years in the university.
The 3 years was meant to be the minimum residence that you would stay in a university under London University regulation. But academically, if you felt confident enough, you could take the examination. And you see, I did in 1959 instead of 1960. I passed the examination, and but I was not awarded the degree until after 1960. So the last 1 year at the university, I used to do works like teaching in the university, in the secondary schools. I taught secondary schools in Ibadan. It was like a play at that time, but at the end of it, that 1 year was a very rewarding year for me, because I taught so many people mathematics and so on and so forth. One of them eventually became the Vice Chancellor of Lagos, Professor Jalil. I wanted to proceed with my research. I did a little bit of research, and I got interested in nuclear physics. I wanted to go towards to study nuclear physics, but the Northern Nigerian government said, now or no, you have invested enough in you. Now come and make your contribution, because this was the eve of independence, and most of the colonial staff were to leave. So immediately I was drafted into audit department.
To be an auditor at that tender age was a great opportunity for the young Shehu Musa to acquire some ethical values that will prepare him for his future public life.
I found the Department of Audit quite interesting. And from that moment that it got into my head that the cardinal principle of transparency and accountability was necessary for development of governmental activities. I was made more or less at my age. I went around inspecting account books. Those who were at the helm of affairs at that time, like the Sadana Sokoto of blessed memory, encouraged us in every way possible. That was politics, all right, but they stood for the truth and for accountability. I'll give an example. When I was on tour of Kefi, native in 1968, I think it was 61, 62, I came into one or two crisis points because the cash book of the native authority, treasury, did not balance. And I discovered there was a £4,800. But if you translate that into what it is today, you are talking about millions of naira. The treasury house was not only a very influential society community member, he was also a strong member of the ruling party, Northern People's Congress. And he was a of the Federal House of People. At the same time, and what the action of Kaduna, the top-notch the National People's Congress, but because of policy youth to mold, to bring in the accountability and when the matter went before, he said, they should, when I went, look, you favor of anybody. So go ahead, go to the bottom, and if they need to take legal action, bring it to justice and legal action. Irrespective of the fact that this gentleman was an influential member of the party. Now you can imagine what it will happen, how it will happen in the setting. And I went ahead and eventually this man was committed to prison for about 6 years. The deed of his membership and so on and so forth.
But what about democracy in the Second Republic? Try to revive the culture of transparency and accountability with Shehu Musa as the Secretary to the Government of the FATI in the period.
The institutions put together can be divided into two. The ones that were government itself, like what they call Economic and Finance Committee, which was led by an eminent economist, Professor Edozen, at that time. By ministries, agencies, and could listen with the executive, and it went along do the kind of function that now have as process documents. Official institutions like the accounts committee, the audit department, is the committee of the chairman of that committee is usually the Second Republic. The committee also headed by the leading part of the committee, and everybody, nobody too big, to be summoned before that committee to explain the report.
Still on this issue of transparency, as Shehu Musa's pedigree in civil service, the young auditor in service statistics, face to face with challenging task, was transferred to federal civil service during one of the in the history of Nigeria as a nation. Shehu Musa played a vital role in the national affairs of that trying times.
The first job I did and control of accounts in the federal ministry. Boys who are to the parliament to prepare answers to questions of accountability in parliament. Then we had the coup. I was retained the Minister of Finance, and up to the time there was a civil war, and before then General Gawan brought in some people. We remember that the Chief Awolowo became Minister, Federal Minister for Finance, and as I said, I was the Minister of Finance. So I had a very close working relationship with him. And when the military, when the war came, the civil war, we were cut off from everything in terms of oil revenue and things like that. And what happened is that he decided that we are not going to borrow one to execute the war. And so he decided to repost people in the customs. Customs was the main source of with which he wants. And he transferred me to head to be in charge of administration, including accounting and mail and so on. And again there on to account for this expenditure and custom and all this. Of course, using the existing and for the 30 years of the civil war, like I said, we were cut off from getting any money from the war was prosecuted. Money that was collected from customs, which I was the head of the department of administration.
It is this deep-rooted sense of accountability and administrative acumen that continued to expose Shehu Musa to greater challenges in those trying times of Nigeria.
When the war ended, Murtala Mohammed came into the scene with the Chief of Obasanjo, General Obasanjo, as he was then known. And they picked on me again to go and recognize the customs. Again, the issue of finding money, accounting for money in the customs. The procedure of the customs generally was a little tardy as far as they were concerned. And they appointed me as sole director of customs for the first time. Again, it was all the accountability and the accountability and the accountability. And reorganization of the department. When we organize the department, I give them a report, but in between my tenure as director, the General Mohammed was assassinated. And so I gave the report in March after his assassination to the government, and I requested that I should be posted back to the Ministry of Health where I belonged. I didn't see myself professionally trained to undertake the regular duty of Director of Customs.
The whole place was dirty, customs was corrupt, everybody saw it, everybody said it, you know. So he came. He examined the customs, he examined all the administrative sectors, the preventive service, the technical service, and then he saw all the outfits, he studied the characters, he went to the files, and at the end of the day, he wrote a beautiful report on the customs, on the individuals, on the customs as an institution, and make the customs better. And he went on to recommend that some people should leave the customs because of their records. And we saw him later as a permanent secretary, Minister of Health, and there he gave an excellent account of himself. You see, a man that is so seasoned like him, Shehu Musa doesn't over anything. He doesn't make any pronouncement which he will withdraw the next minute, because he is kind, he's mature, he's understanding, he brings all this to his administration.
Alhaji Shehu Musa was indeed an administrator par excellence, a man who always brings to bear past experiences to solve of the day.
Like I said, I got appointed from the Minister of Health to the Minister of Finance by General Basangolo, Secretary, and I carried with me all the experience. Not only that, in the course of all these things, I found myself serving as General, what do you call him, Chief Awolowo in the Ministry of Finance, later Alhaji Shehu Shagari, the same Minister of Finance, Alhaji Makaman in the Ministry of Health. So the culture of community was which I gathered from tutelage that I, under these three eminent politicians, leaders, put me in a very good stand to be a bridge between the military administration and the Second Republic, which was a presidential system, and try to establish cells of accountability in each department, in each ministry, which blossomed into the main accounting, annual account, and auditing of accounts, annual report, and so these were also presented for scrutiny by the Senate representatives.
Makaman Nupe have been one of the very illustrious sons of this domain, this area. He has actually contributed very immensely to the development of this area in particular, and also to Nigeria as a whole, in all capacities, in sort of, as a local administrator, as probably a state administrator, and even at a federal level. So, to me, Joe has been my uncle ever since. He served to me as a father. You know, in short, before I came to this role, I was very, very close to Nupe, and then I enjoyed a lot of wisdom for him. I enjoyed his life. It was exemplary to me. You know, he lived a very, very simple life, very, very simple, to the core.
Shehu Musa is quite an intelligent man, a man who had devoted all his life serving his nation and finished his career secretary to the government of the Federation. He's a straightforward, amiable character, jovial, friendly, has no ethnic boundaries at all. Among Nigerians, he has friends in all nooks and crannies of this country. He's very accommodating, he's honest, he's straightforward, and one of those that happily left service when the ovation was loudest, and he was properly honored by the commander of the Federal Republic, and I think during Abdul Salam he got the Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger. So he's been appreciated by his nation.
And worthy of because he has held so many positions in this country and he had discharged his duties. And in fact, even up to now, he's doing it wonderfully well. So I'm very proud to be associated with him.
Shehu Musa is a great leader. Shehu Musa cut across all social, across all groups. In point of fact, anybody who wants to solve the problem of the Niger Delta effectively and honestly must involve Shehu Musa.
A man who is ready, always ready to serve this country, Nigeria, to the best of his ability. Is a man that never liked anything that is corrupt. He has that contentment in him. He's happy with his 1 naira and he's happy with his 2 naira. A man that one will call upon to serve this country and lead this country. I can vouch for him, just like I vouch for late Oba Adesonoye, the Oshamewe of Ondo. The same quality.
After the Second Republic, Shehu Musa had continued to find himself involved in the tasks of national development by successive military government.
I was involved in making, what do you call it, some kind of advice, giving advice to the government. We were involved in advising the government on what to do on naira value, vis-a-vis IMF loan and what have you, which became subject of another committee which was set up. Certainly I didn't serve on that committee, but I had an input in terms of who and who should, who would be recommended, and you can see that at the end of the day it was Professor YAHAYA that headed the committee. Against the background, of course, was the fact that as former permanent secretary and Minister of Finance and secretary to the government, altogether 6 years together, we came face to face with IMF. I served as one of the Nigerian alternate governors of the World Bank. And, we consistently gave government the advice naira value naira should be valued. Because once you start, it's like falling into the mud, you sink, and of course these advice were turned on the deaf ears of the people in authority. And today we are reaping that prophetic where the Naira was pounds higher than the bank wanted different. The IMF group, what they call Bretton Woods group, and one or the other, and at that time some kind of recognition somehow. And today the Naira is equivalent, or the equivalent, and 50 pounds sterling.
Perhaps one other major contribution of Shehu Musa to the growth and development area was conducting the 1990 census of the National Population Commission. His experience against the backdrop of the Nigerian state in such pursuit.
It was a teamwork of very eminent Nigerians who were members of the National Population Commission at that time. Seen as somebody who would get respect, would get respected by eminent group and work as a team leader. If I then achieve it is that shall I say, that is the operated and the members of that team seriously. I find it very funny when people turn around and say, oh, was the chairman North got. I mean, the exercises are carried out by eminent Nigerians, very experienced, and, from the north and from the south. And there was no way one group, or shall I say one sector, would lord it over the others in terms of results, putting the result together. At the end of the day, the Supreme Unity Council that accepted the outcome of it are all made up of people from the north and from the south. And they did it to the best of my on their own free revolution. There was no shall I say, duress exercised on any of them. One thing I must always emphasize is that at that time, the Commission depended so much on the expertise, the knowledge, the experience of the supporting staff, from the Director General to the directors and what have you. And the Director General was from the South. The Director in charge of census collecting was from the South. The Director of computer, where all these things were put together, and the South. In fact, that Director of computer is now the present Director of the National Population Commission. So I get a little worried that people carry this issue of statistical data processing to the arena of politics, particularly to accentuate the South dichotomy.
But why the census always attract controversy in Nigeria?
Unfortunately, in Nigeria, it is persistently controversial in the eyes of certain people. And I believe that this is because the population figures are used for allocation of funds, they are used for planning of educational listening, and also issue of election, votes. Fortunately, so many of these things are always on the side of what empirically is taking place. The 1991 census, during the registration of voters, was very much in line, correlated very well. Later on, we had ID card system, and the ID card system correlated with the census, the 1991. So I thought that should be enough to convince the Thomases, but it hasn't. So Nigeria is killer in this thing. I understand also that the European Union, that is partnership with this with us in terms of providing funds in for 2006 census, has confirmed or endorsed the fact that the 1991 census result should be used as a basis for moving forward.
His last national service in retirement was his membership and National Commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. How was his experience on election matters? And how does the nation go about having a crisis-free and credible elections for a functional democracy for the people?
I found INEC this very, very interesting. Of course, there were drawbacks, because on the field, once you are in the office, you do your work according to the rules. In the field, there's a limited number of field activities that you can organize yourself. You really won't be able to, even if you know about, even if you are told later, to stop people, both in uniform and people not in uniform, firing to scat voters and so on and so forth. I think which in the beginning of this thing, that there were seminars about in the 2003 and 1999 about the government campaigning, advocating against us in the election process. The governing election alone is not enough. The spirit must be imbibed. The spirit of the law must be imbibed, whereby you allow free of this thing. You make the commission an independent organization in terms of its functioning, in terms of financing, in terms of the general dictum that justice should not just be done, should be seen to have been done by the majority, the generality of the people. And once these spirits are imbibed and accepted, and political parties themselves must be democratic. If the parties are not democratic, once they assume government, running of government, you can't expect them to extend this spirit of democracy to the polity as a whole.
With a successful public life, Shehu Musa Makaman Nupe is also a family man of high esteem.
I'm very happy to be a wife of Makaman. He's a nice man, very generous, a lot of things. Busy man, he's a very patient man, and he's a lovely husband. He's a good man, very religious, and God-caring man.
The most exciting part of everything is he always puts us back, nowhere, getting out of cause, he puts us back, and really I must say, he's done his best. Nobody could ask for better than this.
He tries to make you understand that life cannot always be
very simple. Sometimes there are ups, sometimes there are downs, and generally he teaches that money isn't everything. And there's so many other things to life other than money, looking for money all the time. He just doesn't believe in that.
He always says this, cut your coat according to your size. And for me, it's taught me a lot. You never stray out of what it is you know you cannot do. As it's been said, stories about what you see in life or what you hear, it's not all true. You see people, you never know what it is they're up to. But at the same time, he's on and to whatever he's doing. It's number one, in which I tend to have learned quite a lot from that.
Your title, Makaman, Nupe, the personality before you, HAJIYA Makaman Nupe, he was a man of the people. And when you came and occupied that position too, you are national center, international center. You are secretary to the government of the federation. You are chairman of National Federation Commission. So many government appointments, INEC and what have you, and the Red Cross. How do you fit in a local setting? How do you see yourself? How do you reconcile the two roles?
Well, the truth is that I never lifted myself out of the local system. Every now and then I'm here. Whatever they're doing, they see me with them. So it isn't anything new. The only difference now is that I have more time to devote to local affairs, a local program, than I hitherto have. And my national program, or call it engagement, my own, the Hausa saying is, Kwaya Bargida, Gida Zebashi. I never allow myself to leave home. I'm always with them while I'm carrying out other national, international, and even state duties.
The Makaman Nupe is indeed a family man and a man of the people, with the interest of the nation at heart. A philanthropist who was at one time national president of the Nigerian Red Cross Society, was the driving force for this disposition and the legacy he hopes to leave behind for succeeding generations.
I'm worried about the zeal and the tempo of going after wealth, going after riches. And I was thrilled by the way one ruler put it recently when we were in a seminar. He said, on top of our voices, we show that we believe in the Almighty God. But the fear of God is reduced to the rear. And that is something which I would advise all of us, the young, the old, the whatever, the high, the low, to try and reverse. We search our conscience and make sure that whatever we say we believe in terms of faith to the Almighty is put into practical reality. We don't add it to the rear.
A quite successful man and well spent, the Makaman Nupe Alhaji Shehu Musa is now living in peaceful retirement, but responding to calls from time to time from government when the need arises to render more services to the fatherland, plays his traditional role as the Makaman Nupe in Bida, often receives guests who come for visits or consultation. While alone in the serene atmosphere of his home in Kaduna or Bida, he engrosses himself in the study of the Quran. What is his real satisfaction in life?
With all humility, the dividends of all these investments, so nationalism, is the image and the name that one has been able to preserve. When there was a change in government, brought, searched, we were and what have you. But fortunately, I was one person who served in the cabinet secretary, who did not go behind this counter. And that is said. With humility, my former colleagues, my peers, my seniors still hold me in high esteem. So I'm grateful that I also have a good family. I've had children, 11 of them, and most of them have all gone through university education successfully, and they too are making their own contributions here and there. I have a peaceful home with my family, and in peace with my friends, and in reverence with most of the traditional rulers in Nigeria, not just in the north. So I thank Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for keeping me very conscious of Islamic duties.
That has been Alhaji Shehu Musa, Makaman, Nupe, Second Republic Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic CFR, and a recipient of the Outstanding Award in service of his fatherland, and many more awards for excellent service in both public and in private sectors of the economy. That has been Footprint for this week. Thank you for watching.